In this episode, we unpack all the drama from the 2024 Australian MotoGP at Phillip Island. Jorge Martin took another step towards the championship with a commanding sprint race win, but the spotlight was stolen by a terrifying collision between Maverick Vinales and Marco Bezzecchi. We discuss the growing concerns about MotoGP's advanced aerodynamics and how they may be contributing to more dangerous racing. In the main race, Marc Marquez staged an incredible comeback after a disastrous start caused by a visor tear-off issue. Tune in as we break down all the action and controversy from this unforgettable weekend. Welcome back to the show, everyone. I'm Jack, your host for another episode of Revin.co, where we dive deep into the latest news on MotoGP. Whether you're on your morning ride or kicking back at home, we've got you covered with everything happening on and off the track. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to stay updated with all the latest MotoGP news. Let's jump right into it. The Phillip Island sprint race had all the makings of another triumph for Jorge Martin, who extended his championship lead with a dominant victory. But the race was overshadowed by a frightening incident between Maverick Vinales and Marco Bezzecchi. On lap 12, Bezzecchi collided with Vinales at turn 1 after misjudging his braking point, sending both riders off track in a high-speed crash. While both escaped serious injury, the crash has reignited discussions around the impact of MotoGP's evolving aerodynamics. Many fans and experts argue that the advanced aerodynamic features, including winglets and ride height devices, are contributing to increasingly dangerous scenarios in close racing. These improvements may give riders more downforce and speed, but they are also altering braking zones and affecting how bikes behave in tight battles. The Bezzecchi-Vinales crash highlighted this issue, with some suggesting that the aerodynamics make it harder for riders to predict braking points in high-pressure situations. As the sport continues to evolve, are these technological advancements making MotoGP more dangerous? Vinales, reflecting on the incident, said, "I explained to the stewards what happened, and I think they understand. But with these speeds, the slightest mistake can lead to serious accidents. It's something we all need to think about." Sunday's Grand Prix provided another example of how unpredictable MotoGP can be, with Marc Marquez experiencing a nightmare start due to a visor tear-off stuck under his rear tyre. This caused significant wheel spin, dropping him from 2nd to 13th by turn 1. "Always something happens," Marquez said after the race, clearly frustrated by the bizarre incident. Despite this rough start, Marquez fought his way through the pack with incredible determination. By lap 6, he was back in the top 3, setting up a showdown with championship leader Jorge Martin. The battle came down to the final laps, with Marquez overtaking Martin on lap 25 after an aggressive move at turn 4. The Gresini rider held on to secure a stunning victory, while Martin had to settle for second. Reflecting on the final battle, Martin said, "I tried to stay in first position for the last few laps, but Marc had nothing to lose, so it was much more difficult from my side to battle." Francesco Bagnaia, who had briefly led the race after capitalizing on a mistake by Martin on lap 12, couldn't maintain his pace and finished third, 10 seconds off the leaders. Bagnaia admitted that he was struggling to turn his Ducati, forcing the front end into corners. "I was forcing it a lot because my bike was going wide, and it was more important to stay close to the curb like Jorge was doing, or Marc." Bagnaia's third-place finish puts him 20 points behind Martin in the championship standings, with only a few races remaining. Reflecting on his season, Bagnaia added, "We are continuing recovering, recovering, losing. Unluckily, the contact that made me crash with Alex Marquez is the fact that is right now weighing more on the championship." The Bezzecchi-Vinales incident during the sprint race raised questions about how MotoGP's evolving aerodynamics are affecting race dynamics. As bikes become faster and more reliant on winglets and downforce, many in the paddock argue that this is leading to riskier racing. With narrower margins for error and higher speeds in braking zones, Riders like Vinales have commented on how much faster and more intense racing has become. Everything is so much faster now, and it feels like we're more on the edge. The line between control and disaster is very thin. The growing pressure to win in this new high-tech environment might also be contributing to a rise in risky moves, as seen in the Bezzecchi-Vinales crash. These improvements may be helping lap times, but they're also sparking debates about the future direction of the sport. Do you think advanced aerodynamics are making MotoGP more dangerous? Should regulations be reconsidered? Was Bezzecchi's long lap penalty enough of a consequence for the collision with Vinales? Can Bagnaia close the gap to Martin, or is the championship slipping out of reach? If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to give us a like. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a single update. We've got more news, insights, and behind-the-scenes content coming your way every week. Stay tuned.